Do you like food? I mean, like, really like food? I know I do. This is Matt, the fat guy behind the Fat Guy Eats podcast. I started this podcast because I love food, and that's what Fat Guy Eats is all about. Why we eat it, the artists that create and serve it, the politics and social practices surrounding it, and so much more. I'm going to talk with some great people along the way, and we'll probably enjoy some fantastic meals together too. And don't forget to follow along on Instagram by following @FatGuyEatsNM. That's @FatGuyEatsNM.
Parenting vs. Podcast is a proud member of the Bareilles Podcasters Guild.
Welcome to the Parenting vs. Podcast.
Podcast?
I'm recording right now.
Neat.
Is that okay?
I don't care. I mean, it kind of caught me off guard, but I'm good. I thought for a minute you were, like, trolling me. And then I thought maybe you were kidding. And then I realized, oh no, it's game time.
That's where we are. Is that okay? Can I record?
It's game time.
Okay. We're at a park in Portland.
Yeah.
It's sunny.
It is sunny.
Hasn't been sunny in a while.
I mean, yeah, kind of. It's been a little sunny. It's spring, so it's been, like, sunny. Get, like, a couple good days of sun and then a couple good days of rain. And there's a crow up there, and he is not okay with me.
I think she's a raven, and she's a woman.
Creep.
Well, not a woman, but a female.
Okay. Wow, Portland's really rubbing off on you.
No, I was watching a YouTube video.
The future is female. Ravens.
I was watching a YouTube video about corvids, and they're really good at mimicking voices.
Oh, well, that explains my raven running in Albuquerque then, maybe.
Mm-hmm. You can train them, actually.
I don't like that. I don't want to talk about this
They're
anymore.
really smart.
I don't like it.
They can crack puzzles.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's excellent news.
They have the intelligence of like a 3-year-old kid.
We have had this conversation on the podcast before, and I don't want to talk about it anymore. It creeps me out. Like,
it's true. So this is really beautiful weather. What?
It's just like watching us, and it's getting closer. Go away.
It's not it. They're nice. They're so they're
nice,
really beautiful creatures.
If you like the devil.
They're not evil.
They're Satan's bird.
Excuse me.
Those are hell birds right there.
Good grief. So we're drinking some coffee from
Keeper Coffee.
Oh, I thought it was Kepler.
No, it's Keeper.
Okay. Keeper.
Which I've been there before, and I really like their stuff. I like their coffee. It's good stuff, and it's like a nice little neighborhood spot. It's kind of under the radar, and I love that about it, and it's delicious.
Nice.
So,
Yeah, I haven't had a sip of mine yet because it's too hot, but
sounds like a Portland problem.
yeah.
Oh, my gourmet coffee's too hot.
Yeah.
We're at a park. What do you need? It doesn't change regardless of environment. You can go on the swings that are right there.
You can climb rocks. You can do all kinds of things.
Yeah, we're not going to do that right now. We're going to talk for a second, so we'll go over there in a bit.
Yeah.
A bit.
I want to paint the picture of this park.
Yeah, well.
Have they all come? Juju? Maybe they're going to run in the grass. That would be okay.
They're going to sit right here next to us.
Parenting, right?
Oh, there. See? Okay, cool.
Cool. Yeah, so it's kind of a nice day, low-key day. I have a day off work. Lindsey convinced me, to try out chiropractic, and I haven't ever done any chiropractic. Is that what it's called, chiropractic?
Yeah.
And,
never gone to a chiropractor?
I've never gone to a chiropractor. Luke just tried to troll us and throw leaves on us.
Kids need to fucking stop. No. Yeah, you do it over there with you. Not on me. Nope.
Yeah.
Not today, Satan.
But I feel good. I feel a little bit more pain in certain spots, but I feel like it's like progress.
I feel good. I feel more pain.
Like there's parts of my back that hurt more than they have before, but I don't know what I'm talking about.
What do you think about the chiropractic releasing toxins in your body?
I don't know. I just think he's moving joints and tendons and ligaments and bones.
You don't think there could be like a buildup of like
Of what?
Oh, what's that stuff that your muscles release when they're really...
Like lactic acid?
Yes, there you go.
I don't know. I don't know that.
I don't know
I don't know that.
I don't know those things.
I don't know those things. I didn't go to chiropractic school. No, I feel good though. He was like hurting me a couple times with like pressure points and like
love him.
cracking.
He hurts me.
But like I feel better.
This sounds like a not healthy relationship.
Yeah. He's like, how does that feel? I'm like, ouch, hurts. He's like, yeah, good. I'm like,
you're like, wait.
Like you're getting pleasure out of this. This doesn't sound right.
Oh, good. Now that crow thing is calling to its friends. Excellent.
Crow thing? They're corvids and they're really nice.
Ugh. Our kids found a stick, the biggest one, because that's how we do every time we go to a park.
Mm-hmm. So how have you been?
Not great.
Okay.
If we're being honest.
You want to talk about it or no?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to listen to this later and feel like a dumbass, but I guess I'll just say it.
Well,
I feel like a dumbass anyway, so I guess putting it on a podcast really doesn't matter.
Well, whatever. We have a core group of about several dozens of people who listen.
Yeah. So, where do I start? I don't know. I don't know if I want to get into all the nitty-gritty details right now because I just don't know if I'm there yet and open to talking about that. But
whatever.
I've been really depressed and really sad and been crying a lot and I don't really know how to go past that. I'm really homesick, actually, for New Mexico, which I never in a million years thought that I would say those words out loud, but I am. And I know that for the longest time, I wanted to be here. And so I feel really stupid about being homesick for New Mexico while I'm in Portland, the place that I've wanted to be for a very long time and the place that we've talked about moving for a very long time. And I feel really, really petty and dumb. I feel even like a little bit privileged, like bitching about stuff like this, because it's like a lot of people don't even have the opportunity to move to a place. They just are where they are. And for us, we finally had the choice, and not everybody gets that. And so I feel a little bit stupid in my privilege, even saying it out loud. But I miss my family, and I miss my friends, and I miss the desert, which is really odd. I mean, like Oregon is beautiful. Like, it's always been beautiful.
Especially like a day like today.
Yeah, days like this remind me why people move here, and it reminds me like why I missed it so much when I did and stuff. And there's positives to Portland, but it's definitely gotten pretty bad. And I don't think I would have been able to say that.
Portland's gotten bad?
Yeah, until I came here.
Yeah, there's some really big problems that Portland's facing. One of those is just housing for a lot of people.
Well, the nation's going through a housing crisis, but Portland was already going through a housing crisis before, and COVID just made it 10 times worse. And also there's just things that Portland allows here that other places don't, which kind of speeds up the homeless camp situation and doesn't help it and doesn't make it better and doesn't fix anything for anybody. It doesn't provide housing, and it doesn't provide a solution to the homeless camps, and it doesn't provide a solution to the trash. And so you have all of these people that are homeless living everywhere, and at the same time, there's not anything being done to provide housing for them to change that. And so it's just frustrating because it's people that pay for their housing and people that have, rentals or homes have that right next door to them, which I can understand is frustrating and ugly to look at. But at the same time,
people are suffering.
How do you reconcile all of that? Because everybody deserves to be heard, and I can understand both sides of the fence. I really can. And there just doesn't seem to be a solution. And I mean, I hate driving downtown and looking at just piles of garbage.
Right. Yeah, and it's not...
Because it's not taking care of your city.
It's a very complicated issue because homelessness involves people, first of all. Like there's people who are suffering
Right.
suffering from most likely mental illness and drug addiction. Like that's the biggest problem, probably. But then the result of all of that is just tons and tons of just garbage and trash everywhere.
Yeah. And it's crazy because like even living here and having a house, having a rental, and like our trash cans are very small here.
Yeah.
Which is a thing. And we are a family of 5 and we produce way too much trash for that small trash can. So we have to find alternatives to like our trash. Like we literally rotate trash bags like from the kitchen to outside to maybe the garage, and trash comes every other week.
Can you add this to your nature rack?
Oh yeah, put it right here and then I'll add it.
Then my foot is weird.
Okay.
My foot is weird, and then my ankle.
Okay, now go take it over there.
Acting up.
All right.
Okay, so maybe you need to go on the swing and relax.
Yeah. Go ahead and do that, Luke.
Because we're having some time. We need some mom and dad time for real. Thing number 2, probably that's making me depressed. Oh.
Yeah. So did you want to... Hang on. I wanted to say something about that.
Sorry. Okay. Did you need to lay down? Your back hurts? Why don't you lay flat?
I was trying to mouth it to you so you wouldn't have to...
Who cares?
I don't know. Anyways, yeah, so housing is kind of intense. We are in a situation where we would like to buy a house at some point, but...
That's not going to happen here.
In Portland, I think the median price for a house is like $500,000.
It's $500,000, and that's most of the time for like a fixer. And that being said, that's
you're
even
the Zillow queen, so you kind of have a really good idea.
It's true. I was looking for a friend who's moving to San Antonio, Texas in June. He was like, yeah, I don't even know where to begin looking for a house. He works for the government, so like he's going to buy a house. But I was like, oh, I got you. Like I look at Zillow like every day, so let me help you out. And it was depressing. Like I was looking at houses in San Antonio for like $195,000, 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom, huge lots, like amazing yards, nice house, not a fixer, beautiful. And I'm just like, oh my God, what am I doing?
I read in the paper here, the Oregonian somewhere. I'm gonna have to find the article and cite it if I'm gonna say this, but something about how houses in Portland are not going for lists. They are being upbidded up to $100,000 above asking.
Yeah, with cash.
Yeah.
So people like us, like we don't have a chance. Like I'm not trying to be like Debbie Downer.
Yeah.
But like people like us, like don't have a chance.
Right.
And then the other issue is like if you find a house you like here and maybe it's in your budget, like there's like 65 other people that are putting in applications for that house. So it's just a land grab. It's a grab for like he who has the most cash in his pocket can outbid you by like $100,000 and buy it from out like under you. Like you don't have a chance even. And I knew that the cost of housing was huge here and expensive here and competitive here. But I think now that I'm around it and I'm actually seeing like what $500,000 can get you, it's really depressing.
Right.
It's really sad.
And my thought moving out here too was we're going to explore what the job market looks like because there's obviously people who can afford to buy the $500,000 home.
Those are tech people moving from the Bay Area.
And those, well, I mean, I don't know, not always. There's actual people who live in Portland, who work in Portland, who are from Portland, who have jobs here. There's a lot better jobs in Portland than a place like Albuquerque. Right, so I'm just trying to analyze that with my data brain, just to figure out why is the housing market so much different here, and there's maybe people friends of yours that can get there. So what makes that possible?
They're leaving.
Yeah,
that's the thing though. They're selling their house in Portland and leaving because they have this beautiful home, and across the street from them is like all of a sudden now this giant homeless camp. And again, it goes back to that issue of like, how do you solve that? Because you have people who put their money and their lifeblood into buying this home and making it their home in a beautiful place. And now it's like they're looking at a trash heap across the street. And I'm not talking about people when I say that, so please don't confuse me. I'm not saying people are
just
trash.
The result of like
I'm saying the result of people living in a community like that who don't have homes. And also I shouldn't even say homeless because here if you say that it's very offensive. It's unhoused.
Yeah, I've seen that in the paper too. Yeah,
So-
but like at the same time, you can have compassion, yet at the same time feel like you need to protect your family. Like I don't need to have somebody who's addicted to heroin or some
trying
other
to break into
some
your
other
house
drug.
and steal your shit while
Right.
they're not like in their right mind.
Right. And
Right.
I grew up in that sort of environment in Santa Fe. Like there was a lot of heroin within like even friends of my parents. Like I remember finding needles in the. I mean, this is probably unique to my situation, I guess, but needles in the house even. And our house was broken into a few times. Like people who are on drugs are not thinking. Obviously,
They're not like, hey, I just want your TV and I'll leave your family alone.
Like
They're just like violently behaving.
morals go out the window. Like my
Sure.
my uncle's stolen from us multiple times, guns, camcorders, like electronics. Like that, those sort of things happen when you're addicted to drugs. It's not like they're bad people to like the core of the person.
Well, addiction drives everything.
Addiction is so. Do you want your family to grow up next to something like that?
Hold on.
What's up?
Parenting Pause. What's up, buddy?
Is a teepee over there?
With sticks.
Are there kids? Or is it for adults?
Why don't you stay over here by the playground, buddy? Okay?
It looks like it's a teepee that kids built.
It's cool, but let's stay over here for a little bit. We'll go explore in a minute.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
So, no, I totally understand the safety piece, and that needs to be called out. Like, you can have compassion, but at the same time demand, like, I need my family to grow up in a safe environment.
Which brings me to the other thing that is kind of making me depressed, and that's people. And actually, I was watching a video on YouTube today, which really explained this well, I thought, because I've been having a hard time putting it into words exactly. But it's like if you have an opinion other than like this like insanely like liberal opinion, and I'm liberal, so don't get me wrong, like I am super liberal, but
I am woke.
AF. As fuck. But here's the thing, like even for me to be like that here, like I'm not shit compared to these people. Like people in Portland are like a different level of like, and it's almost ridiculous. Like it's, and I feel like I can say that living here now, like, like there's liberal and then there's Portland liberal. And I'm going to be honest, like Portland liberal is a little ridiculous. It's like, it's starting to swing the other direction almost. It's wild.
You're so inclusive that you are starting to exclude people who are not inclusive, like,
or people that may not share the same exact opinion as
right.
you.
And you're so open-minded, then you
close people out. Like
close people out. It like goes full circle. Like
right. And I think that can be really toxic too, because then people just stop talking to each other.
Right.
But I've noticed like, and I never picked up on this as a kid. Maybe it's just because of where I grew up or the time, or maybe I was just naive to it because I was young. I don't know. People here are not friendly. They are not friendly. They don't want to get to know you if you're new. They don't go out of their way. And that's the real main attitude I've gotten from people is like, and I should say there's been a few people that have been very kind to me that I knew before I moved here.
To be fair, we've only been here for 4 months.
Right.
So, in a pandemic. So, I mean, that might have a big impact on things. But yeah, still.
But Portland, like, people here are very, it's almost cliquish. Like, they are not going to go out of their way for you. And in fact, if you kind of like, imply like, hey, we should meet up, or hey, can you show me around, or hey, like, can you like do me a solid? They almost like act like you're annoying them, or like
that could be partially pandemic stuff.
They can't be bothered. No, I've been.
It's different.
Yeah, I've been reading and listening to a lot of commentary on Portland from people who have lived here in the last 10 years.
Oh, like on the interwebs.
That, and I also talked to some people. Like, I got my hair done like a month ago for the first time since the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I was talking to the hairdresser. And
just kind of sharing experiences.
She was asking, and I did ask her, I was like, hey, so I'm just curious, like, is it hard to meet people here now? And she's like, oh yeah, even post-pandemic, like, people here are just like really shut off.
Huh.
And I'm like, I kind of get that. It seems like they're very shut off.
It's interesting.
And I didn't experience that in college, but then again, that situation's way different. You have a bunch of new people all in a new place, all from different places.
All looking for people to hang out with.
So it's different.
Yeah.
You know, I've never lived here as an adult and had a problem like meeting people. And I get it, yeah, we're in a pandemic, but I'm talking about even just like people wanting to be friendly or shoot the shit or like, you know, it's just a very odd social dynamic here.
Right.
It's been really hard because it's very lonely. I mean, okay, for example, like our neighbors, we talk about this quite a bit, but it's very strange. Like, we have these neighbors next door to us, and our patio overlooks their backyard, and their backyard is huge, and they have kids, and they're about our age, and they seem like they would be really cool people to get to know. And again, I get it, we're in a pandemic, so I'm, you know, whatever. Hi.
Should we parenting pause for a little bit?
I was on a roll.
I know. Let's pause, regroup. There is another playground right over there. Do you see it?
I don't want to go over there.
No,
I just want to sit in the sunshine.
Over there.
Fine.
So we're going to pause. We're going to relocate. And be right back. We want to talk to you guys about Southwest Labs.
Southwest Labs is a lab in Albuquerque, and they have a couple of other locations, but they offer not just COVID testing, but blood testing. They can do wellness testing for you. But if you do need a COVID test, they offer that also. Yeah.
So I think one thing that I've learned in this last year of pandemic land is it's good to take care of yourself, and it's a not a great place to be if you don't know what's going on with your body. So a lab test is a very good place that can kind of shed some light and give you some peace of mind.
So they also offer like a complete women's wellness test as well as a men's wellness test. And I know that we're probably going into post-COVID being a little more conscientious about our wellness and our health and kind of taking care of ourselves. So you can start with going to Southwest Labs and get a test.
So they offer allergy testing, STD testing, prostate screening, diabetes monitoring, COVID-19 testing, and more.
Yeah, you can get a lab screening. You can actually test for thyroid function, testosterone function if you're a male. You can even get a vitamin D screening or a urinalysis, as well as drug testing, lipid panels, and you can do an infectious disease complete workup. So you can kind of tell where you're at, where your health stands, and kind of go forward in your journey to wellness, especially during this time after COVID.
Yeah. Simply choose your test, get tested, get your results, and get a doctor's interpretation virtually. Southwest Labs has locations all over Albuquerque and Las Cruces. Call 505-609-LABS or visit southwestlab.com or find them on the socials at Southwest Lab for more information. Okay, we're back. So what were we talking about? Oh, she hit her head. Here, I'll let you talk and then I'll restructure.
Shit. I love how this happens the minute we start doing anything. Okay. So what I was saying about our neighbors, which is kind of weird to me, is just we moved in. We're very similar ages. They have a lot of kids. Big yard. Our house overlooks their backyard. And I'm like, okay, we obviously live in close proximity to these people. And I've always been raised with the idea that you get to know your neighbors and you should be on good terms with your neighbors, maybe even friends, or at least friendly.
Mm-hmm.
So at Christmas time, and I think I mentioned this before, I brought over a card kind of introducing us, just, hey, we're your new neighbors. This is where we live. These are our names, and our ages or whatever. And happy holidays and all that fun stuff.
Happy holidays.
I don't know, no. And then I brought some chocolates because it was I don't know what people want when they don't know you. They could have peanut allergies. I'm not going to bring, I'll just bring chocolate.
Excuse me, ma'am. Are these organic?
That's what I'm saying. I was oh, we're
in that spot. Are these fair trade?
I'm in that spot right now. So I just brought chocolate. I feel like chocolate's kind of safe. And if you don't want it, it's in a package, get rid of it.
Throw it in your tiny Portland trash can.
Right? Burn it if you want. I don't give a... So I did that. And it was very awkward when I went over there. It was kind of they just made me feel sort of weird anyway. And then it was almost standoffish. Why are you doing this? Why are you over here? Mm-hmm. That's what it felt like. And I was just I'm trying to be nice. Fuck. So then, the other day, they're out, outside, and they have this huge group of dudes out there, building their fence, fixing it and building it. And, we're outside too, enjoying the day because it was this really sunny day. And, normally someone's your neighbor, I would, you'd wave, you'd nod, you'd say, hey, something.
We're like invisible.
Like, you would acknowledge them. I feel like
Right.
that's just like the nice, kind, like human thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And they absolutely paid us no mind, like acted like we weren't even there. And I was just kind of like, okay, fine. Maybe they're just busy. Cool. Like, I try to give them the benefit of the doubt just because I think it's the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't take it personally at that point. I was just like, yeah, they're busy building a fence. They're trying to get something done. And they have a bunch of people over, like, cool. Okay. So it was weird, but I didn't take it too personally. Again, super strange, like a bunch of people over there. So then, like, maybe fast forward, I don't know, like 3 or 4 days later, we are getting ready to have some people over for dinner, like our only friends. And we're out there barbecuing, and they're outside in their backyard eating dinner at their table. And we come out there and we're starting to grill, and they like literally look at us, pick up all of their stuff for dinner and go inside. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, okay, is this like personal? Like, I'm really starting to feel like this is a personal problem that you have with me, and I don't know why.
Right.
It was really weird.
Yeah.
It's been so bizarre. And then they've been out there working on the fence again this week and nothing. And I'm just like, I'm not sure if it's like a you thing or a me thing, or like people just don't, it just seems very like blatantly rude.
Yeah. And I think coming from where we were, meeting our neighbors across the street, like Luke was best friends with their kid. We hung out, we barbecued. Like pre-pandemic, we would hang out quite a bit. Like we even made it like a weekly thing. Mm-hmm. Even like when the pandemic started, we did like social distance, like cocktails. Like
cocktails in the driveway from across the street.
Yeah, we would sit on the other side of the street. They would sit on the side of the street. We would sip on a cocktail and talk. And like, hey, this is crazy. Like pandemics, just kind of talking and being in a community, even though like we were trying to be safe and like trying to handle like what is this pandemic.
Right. Well, they were at our house the night that we were watching the news and everything was shutting down, like, rapidly. Mm-hmm. And, like, they were like, schools are closing, this is closing. Like, we were sitting at our house and they were over.
But you reached out to them and, like, we spent time with them and hung out with them because we were kind of in the same situation. Like, they were teachers, too. Like, I'm a teacher. And then our next door neighbor to the left of us, like, they're older. We're not going to hang out with them, but we talk to them all the time.
Well, they would say hi, like walking their dog. I mean, that's all it has to be. It doesn't have to be like, we don't have to be best friends. We don't have to hang out. But like, when we're in the same proximity outside together, like, why can't we just be civil? Like, what is so wrong with saying hi? Like, we're all human. I don't know.
Right. The only thing that kind of like, what's weird is like you have a perspective from just life experience. Life lived experience perspectives. We're gonna change benches.
I'm gonna sit on this thing in the sun.
Okay. This is our podcast. We get to
roaming away from children.
Yeah.
We're trying really hard to avoid our kids right now.
Well, we have this beautiful huge park.
We're turning into our neighbors. Oh my God. There it is.
No. And they're all gonna come here now.
Yeah, of course.
No, like perspective. What is your point of view? Like, what is your lived experience from whatever you've lived, right? So, when I look at our neighborhood back in Albuquerque, I loved like it did feel safe as far as, I felt safe in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
The only thing that didn't feel completely safe would be to let my kids roam around because traffic, like motorists in Albuquerque, I think are a little bit less attentive in other places, maybe. Although,
well, we had like a blind corner kind of coming down from our house where it would be like if the kids were on their bikes on the sidewalk, it would be really hard to see them. That would be the one thing.
And just the layout, I didn't think was super great for kids riding bike. No, I'm just like, it does matter.
Oh, okay. We're not there anymore. I thought we were talking about our house here.
No, I just,
Sorry.
No, the layout was not great for kids riding bikes, but everything else was fantastic as far as that's concerned. Like I could go for runs, like it was nice. Mm-hmm. Here we have more of the sort of safety like layout. Like I feel like maybe
like our kids can go in and out of the house. We don't have to necessarily be out there with them or say, hey, don't go in the street or hey, because it's closed off.
But we still just feel so foreign, like foreigners.
Yeah, it's a really weird feeling. I just feel like the collective attitude here is different versus Albuquerque, like by a long shot. And I also think that culturally, you know, in New Mexico, you have like a very family-oriented culture. You have big families, so people are always around, even if you don't want them to be. They are.
Yeah.
But it's funny because at first, when I used to find that really annoying when I lived in New Mexico at the beginning, like just people always around. But I've really grown to be adapted to, like, even if you're alone, you're not alone. And that can be a really good thing, say, like in a pandemic. People are very social in New Mexico. So like they'll follow the rules, but they'll find ways to be social while following the rules, and they'll make an effort. And here it just feels like people just straight up don't want to make the effort. They don't care. It's like, well, tough shit, good luck. You're on your own. The weather doesn't help when you're feeling really crappy and down, you know, which I knew that already. That's always a thing. Like, people here are, well, seasonal affective is a real thing here. And it's magnified with the weather when the weather's bad.
Yeah.
But so the second thing was people. You know, cost of living. I want to be able to buy a home for our family. And I feel like a fool for just like thinking it would be this easy. I'm an idiot. Like, let's just say that out loud. Like, I'm an idiot.
Well, I don't think you're an idiot.
Oh, I do.
You have to like try things out.
Yeah.
You have to make the mistakes.
Right. And
people who are making the mistakes, I think, are better off in the long run.
I'm grateful for trying it, but I also feel like, I mean, and that's the thing. I just feel stupid because I know it's only been 4 months. I know that there's a learning curve, but at the same time, even if we, let's say, adapted to all of these mother effing crows in the sky, ready to murder us.
They're not going to murder. They're beautiful. I told you.
I don't know.
They're smart
just wanna eat my face.
creatures.
Murder crows. No, even if we adapted to, say, the city itself and the people, the truth is, like, we still can't buy a house here. Like, we're never going to be able to afford a home here. Like, and that's what's so frustrating. And I think, you know, we're in a place where it's kind of a catch-22, actually, because us moving forced us to have to get some financial things in order. We paid down a ton of our debt. We paid off some credit cards. So now our credit is in a spot where we can buy a house.
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah. Oh, wow, there's a tree and it's moving behind us. Weird. A tree with a child in it.
Yeah.
Okay, I see 1, 2, 3. Okay. So it's kind of ironic because this move forced us to have to like take care of some of that. Mm-hmm. So we're at a point where we can buy a house, like in theory.
Right.
But situationally, we can't buy a house.
Not here.
Not here. So while I'm grateful for the changes that we've been forced to make, I am really homesick, and I don't know what the future is going to hold, and I will just hang on for the ride. And if we end up in Albuquerque, cool.
Well,
and if we end up staying here, cool, and we'll figure it out. Or if we end up in, you know, Oklahoma, that'll never happen, by the way, because I hate Oklahoma.
Yeah, never say never.
No, never, never ever.
So
saying it right now, never.
I think that's important, though, to be able to give yourself some slack, give yourself leeway, and really ask those hard questions like, hey, did I make a huge mistake on this big decision? Mm-hmm. That's not a big deal. Like, you can make those decisions and take those risks and know that, you know, you're not gonna ever you know, put your family in an unsafe situation. Right. But
and that's the thing that drives me.
But really, like, you can make those hard decisions and you can go back on them. Like, this is your life. Like, you don't have, if you make a decision, you don't have to stick to that decision. You know, that's
true. And I like that. And I think that that's one of the things, like, I was actually watching this video.
There's pressure for that, though.
Today. Oh, no, I know. I was watching this video today. And it was Jim Carrey, and he was talking at a graduation. And it was really inspiring. But he was talking about how most of the decisions people make in their lives are based on, like, a false sense of security and safety. And, like, the thing is, that sense of security and safety is false, and it doesn't matter. So you might as well make the decision that you want to make. Like, because eventually that security is going to fall away anyway. So, like, if you are making your decisions based on just this false sense of security, you're always going to quote unquote play it safe, but you're never actually going to be satisfied with the choices that you're making.
Right. A lot of our decisions, I think, have been influenced by what do our parents think of it.
Yeah.
How do my parents think, or even like grandparents? Like I'm very influenced on like what your grandparents will think of us, and your parents. My parents, I think, will kind of they'll survive, but there's a lot of pressure, I think, from family.
You know, it's so funny because even 10 years ago, like Portland, like pre-Portlandia, maybe, it was a good city. It was still quirky, and it was a gem, and it was beautiful, and it had all these weird things that people hadn't like blown up yet. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, people that lived here knew it, and people that didn't live here would come and find it, and they'd move here. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, even within the last like year, like, and I've heard people say this, but I didn't understand the magnitude of this statement until we got here. People are like, it hasn't even been the same in the last 6 months. It's gotten worse in the last 6 months. And I think about that, and I'm like, we came here in July, and it was like during the protesting and the riots and stuff. And while it was bad, it wasn't unlivable.
And there were other cities that were kind of doing the same thing. So we
Right.
thought, like, okay.
Maybe it's a phase. Maybe we're just, it's just a sign of the times or whatever. But even since July, I've seen this crazy just downward spiral within the city. Mm-hmm. It's just all, and I don't know. It sucks because Portland has so much potential, but it's almost like it's peaked and now it's going back the other direction. And I hope it doesn't end up like Detroit. But no, I'm serious. But if the cost of housing keeps going the way it's going, everyone's going to leave and it's going to end up like Detroit.
Crashing.
Yeah.
Like, you can get a house in Detroit, I think, for $1, but you have to like live there.
You have to live there, and you have to get the grant. You have to get X amount of dollars in grant funds to keep it up and fix it.
Right.
Like, you have to pledge like this amount of money to get it rehabbed.
Yeah. Want to take another pause and relocate for a second?
No. Why? So we're fine. We're fine.
Okay.
They were down there too. It's just kind of crazy because I'm like, the minute Portland becomes affordable to live in, it's going to be not for a good reason.
Yeah.
It's going to be because everybody left and there's just crime and trash. Mm-hmm. And that's really sad to me because this is like where my family is from.
I don't know. But we also might be coming from a point of view where we don't have enough information too. Like,
Tell Riley and Juliet, please. Tell Riley and Judy to put their masks on. Okay? Thank you.
We're still really fresh and new, so we're learning. But I get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm homesick, and I know that. I've cried a lot. I've tried to create a community here, and I know pandemic stuff makes it weird, but people just seem a little bit not interested, and I'm like, okay, fine. Like, fine. Have it your way. I don't give a fuck. If somebody was like, hey, I'll move you back to Albuquerque tomorrow. Yes, but if you see anything that doesn't look safe, you come right back up here, okay?
Teepees.
It's if somebody offered me money to move back to Albuquerque tomorrow, I would. Like, that's where I'm at. Mm-hmm. I just miss my friends. I miss sunshine. I miss food. Not that I need it. I've gained like 10 pounds since I've been here.
I don't miss the drought.
No, I don't either. But at the same time, pools, mountains. I don't know. We can talk about all the things we miss because we're not there. But the point is,
tamales.
They have tamales here.
El Modelo.
They don't have El Modelo here. The point is that I think hindsight is 20/20. Right. And I just feel like an idiot saying it out loud. But then again, it's like, I've always worried so much about what people will think of me. And I'm at the point where I have to worry about like what my kids are going to think of me in 10 years.
Well, I think that it's good to make those jumps, to take those risks. Mm-hmm. Because then you'll just never know. Like, you have to kind of to a point, I think. But
I'm glad we did it now during a pandemic, honestly, because
but we're still here, and I still want to enjoy it.
Of course. No, our kids are not in they're in school, but it's not like
It's really weird. Like
it's not so much of a loss if we leave. Like they're not losing anything. I know
we're in hybrids. We're in hybrid school, but they go for like 2 hours a day, 2 days a week, which is really strange.
Yeah, thanks, David Douglas. Like I don't understand that. It's so funny.
That's all of Portland. I heard somebody at the chiropractor talking about how they felt it was super silly. Like, why even do it for 2 hours a day? Like, our kids are not allowed to go to recess.
Yeah. Well, it's funny to me too because it's like school ends in June. And this just creates a whole new set of like scheduling problems for like working parents that have like hybrid.
You're like, oh great, I got to take you to school for 2 hours. What am I going to do for 2 hours?
Yeah. Well, and also, I mean, it's kind of funny too because like.
Our kids, by the way.
I was going to say something and I completely lost track.
Go ahead.
Of my
It's
thoughts.
Talking about 2 hours. School.
Yeah. No, I know. I don't know. I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, so it's weird because I remember when I signed up to say like, yes, my kids, I want them to go back. I was signing up under the impression that it was going to be like school,
like 5 days a week,
right? Like school time, not like 2 hours a day for 2 days a week. Like that's not what I signed up for, you know. Where's Riley and Juju?
Okay, go over there with them.
Yep. Hang on. Shh.
All right, we're gonna take a pause. Be right back. Okay, we're back. So, I don't want this to turn into, I guess it already has been, like a complaint for the city. But like, Portland is great. It's not what we thought it was. Moving away was not what we thought it would be.
It's also not what it used to be.
We are. I think we want to be honest with ourselves and like realize that it's okay to make those bad decisions. We can admit that. Mm-hmm. However, I think that there's like other ways to look at it too. Like, yeah, if we wanted to power through it, things could change. Things could get better. Maybe there's, better employment. I don't know. Maybe, I'm not sure what that looks like. I think sticking things out is important too, and not giving up so quickly.
So what are you saying?
I'm not saying
on the podcast that you haven't said to me.
No. I'm not saying anything like that.
Just wondering.
No, I'm just saying like a lot of people. What?
Oh, it's you. There's a smell. I keep smelling these like flowers, like floral smell.
Is it my hand sanitizer?
It's you. I'm like, oh, it's you.
I used some hand sanitizer.
It smells flowery.
Yeah. So, I think that there's something to both sides. Like you can decide to bail on a plan, mm-hmm. or you can decide to stick through a plan. Mm-hmm. And either decision, I think, would be okay. It's harder to stick through a plan, I think. There might be some payoff to stick through. I don't know. And that's something that me and you...
all about perspective.
And that's something that me and you would have to talk about more.
Well, I think you also have to look at, like, for you and your family and your phase of life, like, where are you and what do you want?
And what's important to you.
Because, I'll be honest, like, the perspective I was looking at coming back to Portland was a perspective from, like, 20 years ago when I was in college and, it's such a cool city and it's so awesome. But also I was, like, 19 and... my objectives and goals in life have changed. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's hope, right? And like, I'm not the same person I was when I was 19, and I'm not going to be doing the same things I was in college that I am now. Like, yeah, I love the fact that I can go to a coffee shop and sit there for hours, but the truth is, can I do that now? Not really. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, yeah, they're open and stuff, but like, I have 3 kids. They have freaking hybrid school now. I don't even have time to like have a job, let alone like sit and write at a coffee shop by myself like I would like to. Mm-hmm. Like I've had this idea for a book for like a year and I just haven't even put pen to paper because it's like I have no time. I have no like ability to do this.
Right.
And it sucks because I'm in the perfect place to start doing that, especially emotionally because I've been so damn fragile. But like
you could feel like melancholy and use
all
that
stuff.
pain to
all the type 4
Right.
feelings are perfect right now.
write some dark poem.
But I also have to check myself and be like, okay, you're like a freaking type 4. Like, are you like, maybe don't bask in it so much because you're already feeling.
By the way, I took the test again. I'm a 4.
Oh, good.
Again.
Great.
So
Lovely.
who knows? No, I get you though, and the grass is greener always.
Well, the grass is not green in Albuquerque. It's not there.
Part of the human condition, I guess.
Yeah.
And you have to really kind of try to look back past that. Like, is the grass greener, or do you really have a situation that you want to be in?
I also think my definition of what home has changed. Home is no longer for me like a place necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's a certain life that I want to live with my family.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think not even a feeling. It's just like a set of circumstances that I want my family to embrace, and for me, that's what home is.
And I think what's valuable to us now more as our kids are getting older and we're approaching 40 is consistency and stability. I think that's what we're really longing for. Something that has, I think, for our generation, been a little bit harder to attain than, like our parents' generation, who maybe reached the stability and that phase a little bit earlier before us.
Oh, for sure. They were having kids and getting their shit together and buying a house at 22. Like,
I mean, maybe not that early, but
oh, my parents were.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I know, buddy. The pollen is starting to burn my eyes too. I get it.
Yeah.
Tell them we're gonna get going. Okay.
No, we're gonna get some lunch.
Yep.
Yeah. So I guess that's it. Was there anything else that you wanted to bring up that has been making you feel sad or?
Happy birthday, Burgerville.
What?
It's gonna make me sad that you're not gonna have your birthday milkshakes for very long. They're so good. It's like a cherry cheesecake milkshake.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna miss Burgerville if I ever leave. Burgerville's a shit. So
no,
I said it.
I was saying like in general, not
that makes me sad.
Oh. Okay. Luke, go. We're almost done. Parenting.
Yeah. I think we need to
hold this. I have something.
Oh my goodness. I'm like freezing in the shade right now. I'm gonna 5 seconds, guys. 5 seconds. Oh man. I'm just gonna walk in the sun real quick because I'm freezing while Lorenzo herds our kids away from us. I don't know. Shout out to Keeper Coffee in Portland. Lovely little coffee establishment. Very yummy, delicious caffeine. Really good. And actually the neighborhood they're in and the way they're situated just like reminds me of like in my heart of hearts and like dream of dreams, like what Portland used to be. It's like that feeling of what it used to be. So thanks for that. Thanks for maintaining that feeling, even if it's brief and small. It's a treasured feeling, and every time I go there, I feel a little bit happy because it's that feeling that I've been chasing for a long time. So.
Sorry, I missed that.
It's okay. You can listen later.
I've been feeling really angry.
Yeah.
And tired. Yeah. And I'm working 12-hour shift days, and I get home and I immediately fall asleep, and I missed that.
You missed Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar.
That movie was terrible.
You missed it.
I'm glad I missed it. It was bad.
Okay, Debbie.
No, that was just a really bad.
But it was like so bad it was good. That's the thing. It was like one of those. Like it would have been better high probably, but like yeah.
Who are you?
I don't know.
All right. So let's get off of our Debbie Downer thing and just do a quick. What are you listening to? We can make it quick.
Yeah. What am I listening to?
What are you listening to?
Well, lately I have not been listening to a lot of podcasts just because I haven't really had the mental space or time to do it. I actually checked out a Ray Bradbury book from the Albuquerque Public Library because I'm still stealing their hoopla. That sounds so weird when you say it out loud. Quit stealing my hoopla.
Yeah.
It's just this app that you use to check out books, and so I've been listening to Ray Bradbury when I can, although I think it auto-returned the book, so I'm gonna have to check it out again. I love some good old school science fiction, so there's that.
So you've been listening to 48 Hours podcast?
Yeah, it's easy listening, so I just listen to it because it's like, I don't know, it's quick, it's easy, it's like literally like a 40-minute podcast, and it's just basically what the show is. Mm-hmm. So murder mysteries and all that fun stuff. And then, sorry, I'm pulling up my music right now. It's taking me a minute because I'm worried our kids are going to run over here and destroy everything. I've been listening to some remixes of songs. I was listening to the song Numb by Sylvan Esso, but it's a Teddy Geiger remix. It's really good. How Does It Feel? The Cliff Martinez remix by London Grammar.
We found a giant ant.
Oh,
cool.
Go over there and look at
Another song I have had on my throwback playlist, like it's an old one, but it's still in there.
Someone's gonna bite us.
It won't bite you. Just don't poke it.
You
Just
guys have
you can look at it.
5 minutes, so go run and play for 5 minutes, and then we're going. Go. Is the song I Could Go by Oberhofer.
Mm-hmm.
I love that one a lot. And then Beirut, a lot of Beirut. And I've been sneaking some Atmosphere in there. I know you don't like Atmosphere, so I try not to listen to it at home.
I don't hate Atmosphere.
You kind of do.
I don't hate it. I don't love it.
I've been throwing back some old school Atmosphere just on my own, like in the car and stuff. So that's where I'm at. Like God's Bathroom Floor. That's a classic. It's a classic Atmosphere song.
Cool.
So there's that. What are you listening to?
So I've been listening to an audiobook called Packing for Mars, and I don't remember what it's called, who the author is, but it's called Packing for Mars, and it's basically snippets of, not snippets, it's just the chapters are going through details of where our space programs have been to get us to the point where we are now.
Is it Mars?
And to get us to the point where we go. Is it what?
I said, is it Mars?
Is what Mars?
Never mind. It was a dumb joke.
So they talk about all of the details of, weightlessness and details about how do you poop and pee in space.
Come on, you guys, you've always wondered. People have always, you've always wondered.
And they talk about they kind of go down the road of, has anybody ever had sex in space?
For sure. Can you imagine? You'd want to be
hard.
The person. You'd want to be the person that's I was the first person to have sex in space that I know of.
Yeah, but they were talking about the mechanics of how difficult it would be to do that.
Also, you'd be stuck on a spaceship with somebody, and if it didn't work out, it'd be a little rough. Like that one lady.
Well, she drove across the country, with the diaper, which they talked about that as well, the diapers. So it was a good book.
The diapers.
Yeah.
They talked about the diapers.
Yeah, it's been a good book. It's a really long book, but I'm listening to it on Audible on my commute to work. As far as music is concerned, I've been listening to not a whole lot, actually. I listen to, in the morning, I listen to a lot of just really sort of calm music, melancholy music. I'm just trying to be in the feeling of whatever sort of weird sadness or loneliness I'm in. Sounds awful.
Type 4-ness.
So Hollow Coves, Angus and Julia Stone, Gregory, whatever his name is, Ivan Iskov, yeah. Just that kind of crap.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not crap. It's good music, but I probably need some more.
See, I can't listen to that right now because it would destroy me. Probably.
Yeah, I probably need some more upbeat music, and I've tried actually to. What?
There's a dog over there, and he's just rolling in the sunshine in the grass, living his best life. I'm sorry.
Squirrel.
No, it's a dog.
I know, squirrel.
I know, I get it. I'm just being a.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I've tried to listen to some of my pop punk, which is a bit too bubblegum for me these days. But it's hard to do that. Luke's feeling a little bit melancholy today, it looks like.
No, I don't think that's it.
No?
He just started new ADHD medication today, and it's different, and I think he's just adjusting to it.
Gotcha. Okay, well, I think that's it. Impromptu podcast. I think it went okay.
I think it went all right, yeah.
All right. That's all we got.
That's all we got. We'll catch you next time.
All right, peace.
Parenting vs. Podcast is a proud member of the Bareilles Podcasters Guild.